Wake up early every day and think about you. Wake up early and I feel your grace, I feel it all. I found love, this is enough, I won't let go.
The Wisdom and Opinion Show.
One more time.
Welcome to the Wisdom and Opinion Show featuring your man, Prophet Josiah. But anyway, we have the infamous
2B in a building where we speak on wisdom from God and opinions from us.
We share wisdom from God, speak on a wisdom from God, all of that stuff. Wisdom, opinions, wisdom, opinion. So today you're going to get a whole lot of wisdom and a whole lot of opinions.
Word.
And today's topic, without further ado, how well do you really know someone?
I got a problem with this right here, which is how everybody calls everybody a friend. Everybody calls each other bro. That's a big deal, especially in the African-American community right now. Everybody is bro. You know, I said it in one of my songs, call each other friends, call each other bro, like even strangers or family. And like, I got a real problem with that. So what's the difference between a friend and an associate?
Well, why do you have a problem with that? Like, explain.
I got a problem with it because I feel like that friendship is something that you shouldn't give to everybody. Just like,
why not?
It's just not a title you should give to everybody, because friendship should mean something. You should have gone through something. There should be some type of bond. There should be some type of ups and downs. There should be like, I know you're going to be there for me as a friend. Like there's levels, as they say, there's levels to this game.
For sure.
And for me personally, I feel like people just they throw it out too easily.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of people throwing it around too easily. I mean, like in the example you give where you call somebody bro, I guess it depends on how they saying it. I've heard people just say it like they say that to anybody, but they don't see them as their best friend though. It's just like, yo, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? But that, you know, that they don't mean anything by it. They still like, I don't know you, but it's more of a like a cool way to say something else. I don't know.
Yeah, but have you seen like even the levels with that? Like people would be like, yeah, bro. And then other people would be like, if it's like deeper, if they know you better, they'd be like, yeah, that's my bro ski. And then like, I'm
This sounds like a weird 80s movie. I don't know.
I'm dead serious. Like you see levels to what people even say on the bro, like bro and broskied and brother, and you know what I mean? Like people, there's like levels on that, like that people even use. And I just feel like that people.
So what would you rather that they say?
I don't know. I don't know that I would.
I ain't your bro.
I don't know that I'd rather. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that. The point I'm trying to make is I feel like my mother taught me when I was young that, you know, the difference between people knowing you and people knowing of you. And I think that we don't see that too much anymore. I think everybody gives people the title of like, yeah, I know him. Like, oh, that's two. I know him. Yeah. Like you might have met me one time. Or you might have seen me online. Like it's probably fans of yours that feel like they know you. Probably fans of mine.
I mean, they probably like do know me to a certain extent.
Like what? What you show?
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like I share a lot of information about, well, not a whole lot, but
no, you don't. I'm about to say you don't share no whole lot of information.
I don't, but if you're paying attention, you could pick up things that are actually real about me because I don't post like fake stuff. So like whatever I post is probably really how I feel. So if somebody says, "Have you heard of Prophet Josiah?" Yeah, I know him. Well, they do know me. But the question, but then there has to be a follow-up question like, how well do you know him? Oh, I just know him from internet. Or I know him because we've been friends for 20 years. Or I know him because of this. I think you have to dig a little bit deeper to find out how deep they're actually saying it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be offended if somebody said they know me, unless I said more to it. Like you're saying, well, how well do you know them?
So
And
to
then based
me,
upon what they said, that might make me feel, I'm saying, a certain kind of way.
yeah. So to me, it goes along to the point though, like I still feel like that's then you don't know me, you know of me. Like you know of me, you heard me, you might have heard me speak, you might have heard me talk, but you don't know me. For instance,
I know, but it's kind of semantics though. Like everybody
it,
doesn't use that same language. So like for me, I could say I know somebody, but that might just be the way I talk. I'm not claiming to know them. And usually when I say that, I'll say, I don't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? I just know them because of this. Saying that I know of somebody, that's like a weird phrase for me. That's not like phrasing I normally use. So like, even though we're saying the same thing, I wouldn't say it like that.
but we're still
So
saying the same thing though.
yeah,
Like
but
you
you
said,
wouldn't know. Yeah, but you wouldn't know we're saying the same thing because I didn't use the same words. That's what I'm saying. Like you might be like, oh, you know
well,
that dude? Who were you to say you know him? And I'm just like, I didn't say I knew him like that. Like
yeah.
I just said I knew him.
Nah, cause hold on, cause and I guess this goes back to one of our other episodes or whatever. It touches something because it's kind of almost like a trigger somewhat
Yeah.
because we were talking about you before the episode started. You know what I mean? You were talking about where my nickname came from,
Yeah.
and so I was telling you
Mhm.
like where my nickname came from. But to me, that's a family nickname, so that drink like means something. Although it's my artist name too, it's a family nickname. But
For
so
sure.
when people would call me that didn't really know me at all, like
Oh,
it
yeah,
used
yeah,
to
yeah.
it used to like really bother me because I'd be like, yo, but you don't know me though. Like you
So like
calling
how
me
did they
that
know that that was your name? Like they heard somebody else say it?
because most people don't know my actual real name. Like
Oh,
most
so
people
they
don't.
just knew it because it was just online or
Yeah,
like how did
well,
they know
no,
that that
because
was your name to
somebody else,
begin with?
because they were around my family or people that were close enough to call me that, and
Oh,
so
okay.
they figured that they could call me that too. And I would be like, yo, like, but you don't know me, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't be calling me that because you don't know me.
Yo,
So,
so like, did you actually say that to him?
oh, I said that
Or
to plenty of people. Like, I like,
you can't
I'm
call
just that
me that.
guy, yo. Like, I am. I'm sorry, I'm just that guy. Like, I said that to plenty of people. Like,
Yeah.
yo, no offense, but you don't really know me like that. Like, you know what I mean? To you, I'm such and
Wow.
such. Like, 'cause it is what it is. Like, you gotta keep it real with people. I'm not gonna feel no type of way and then keep it inside.
Okay,
I'm
so
not.
I
I'm
gotta
not gonna.
find out. I gotta find out. Can I call you too, or is it?
I grant you permission today. You know what I mean? Like
Thank you, sir.
every, every not like every episode like that we've done. Like you haven't said it.
I know, but that's your name on the show, though. But it's
This is
different.
true.
It's different, though. This is just really interesting to me.
It is. It is
But I know what
interesting,
you're talking
man.
about. I know what
For
you're talking
real.
about
Like
because my nickname is Cece. That's like a family nickname. If
exactly.
somebody calls me Cece and I don't know them, it's like really weird. It's like,
Right.
how do you know that? Because
Right.
one, everybody doesn't know that about him. It's not. That's not something I publicize like that. So it's like, yo, how do you know that? Oh, I heard so and so. I probably would say the same thing. Like, yo, just you could just call me Stan, or you could just call me Prophet. You know what I'm saying? Or you saying whatever.
I mean, I wasn't even calling you Stanley at first. Like to be honest, like because it's like I said, it's
Yeah.
levels to it. So I met you as Prophet Josiah. I will call you Prophet Josiah. Like, you know what I mean? You're on my phone now as Prophet Josiah. Cause that's
Yeah.
that's
Which is
that's
fine,
that's
because I
that's how I
mean,
met you.
yeah.
And then as we progressed and as we got to know each other more, then I will call you by your actual name. Now I ain't got to the CC level yet. I heard you say it, but I was like, he didn't give me permission to say it, so I'm not saying it.
But you know
Like
what though? I don't have it's more of a like this is where I know somebody from thing than it
word,
is
yep.
you shouldn't call me that. It's
Don't be
it's
calling me
more of a
CC.
yeah, it's more of a like why are you using that word or that name when you don't really have an affiliation with it? You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm-hmm.
people that
Mm-hmm.
that call me that, like that's what they know me as. Nobody in my
Word.
household called me Stanley. So I was called
Right.
Stanley at school and at work because those are professional places. So you use
Yeah.
your real name. So when people call me Prophet, well, that means you know me from music, or you know me from this, or you know me from that. It's actually weird when somebody from music calls me by my regular name, and it's weird when somebody that
Right.
knows me from work calls me by this other name. It's
Right.
like, but I don't know you from music. Why are you calling me the music name? I don't
Exactly.
know, or like you say, I don't know you from work. Like Stanley is probably the most impersonal name you could call me because it feels like I'm at work or it
Right.
feels like I'm at school or something like that. And it's like, unless I know you from that place, it's kind of like, oh, like you don't really know me that well. So, like, for you to call me Stanley is weird. It's like, I know you way better than for you to be calling me
Well,
that.
of course.
Yeah,
Like,
for you to be
yeah,
calling me
but
Stanley is weird because you don't know me as Stanley.
right.
Our relationship is beyond the
That.
40-hour work week. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I don't know what this has to do with the topic, but I mean, I guess it does. How
No,
well
but
do you know
it
someone?
does. How well do you know somebody? I mean, it's I don't
Down to
know if
their
this is gonna
name.
be in the bloopers or not, or in the extras or whatever, but I'm
Yeah,
telling you, this is good because you know what I'm saying, like us, there's people out there with different different names or nicknames or stuff like that. And
right.
to me, I'm like, yo, don't be calling me that if you don't know me. Like that's
See, the difference
that I
is you
don't,
sound like you
that's
ready
just
to go to
always been me.
blows. Like, yo,
You
how dare you call me by this name? I don't think I'd be that upset. I just would be like,
oh gosh.
wow.
To each his own. Oh man,
Get
yeah, I
back,
think it
get back. You don't know me like that.
nah, it ain't that serious
I'll
no
buck
more.
you down.
I had to come to grips with it more when I put that out there
Shout
as
out
my
to
artist
Ludacris.
name. Definitely shout out to Ludacris. I throw them bowls, but yeah, I had to come to grips with it more when it was my artist name. I was like, all right, man, it's just gonna be some people that do
Then it's
that.
funny
And
because you named yourself that. So like, how you gonna be mad that people call you your artist name?
no, because there's a difference. I said 2B, so most times people that know me from the artist world will just say 2B.
Right.
Like they'll say 2B, and then 2 is still family, and then Timothy is work. Like
Right.
that's straight work. They're like, hey Tim, and then I'm like, oh okay, that's work. So when you call me Tim, I'm kind of like,
Who's that? Oh yeah,
okay,
that's right. That's right. We
that's
work
me. Oh
together.
yeah, that's me. So yeah, but anyway, I digress. I had
Interesting.
to get that in there. Friend and an
Interesting. That
associate.
yeah, I mean that definitely fits within the how well do you know someone? I mean, how
It
do you
does.
call them? You know what I'm saying? Usually I'm saying
We
that
just
that goes for any kind of relationship. People usually have nicknames, whether you have a regular friendship, whether you have a romantic relationship, you know what I'm saying, whether you got coworkers or whatever have you get known by different things. And typically when you get another name, that's like another level of closeness or like another
right.
level of friendship because it's like I feel comfortable with you that I can call you something else and you feel comfortable with me that you allow that. You know what I'm saying? Like when people
Absolutely.
grow up, you usually got a friend with like some weird nickname like Fathead or like,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, Shorty or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's because y'all are comfortable enough to do that. It's
Absolutely.
true.
And you ain't gonna just like listen, like if you got a name for your wife or something like that only you call her and somebody overhears it and then they start calling her that, you're gonna look at them crazy, like yo. Like you're gonna
Well,
it's just
I mean, if you call your wife Bay and I walk up to your wife and call her Bay, that's gonna be like, yo, what?
that's a problem.
That's not your Bay.
That's
That's
a
my
that's a
Bay.
that's what I'm saying. That's a problem. You coming up to my wife like, babe, like, whoa, hold up. Yo, chill. Like what? We on you on. Oh, whoa, whoa.
And if she
That's
if she
real.
don't have the same confusing look, now you like, wait a
That's
second.
what I'm about to say.
What?
That's what I was just getting ready to say. It's worse if she answers. If she answers, then you really got a problem.
What
For
up,
sure.
prophet? Like, yo, I ain't never saying that. I do not want to die. I'm from a school of thought that's like anybody can do anything at any time. I don't care how much you know them or you don't know them. There's always something about somebody that you don't know. And so
Right.
you could know somebody for a really long time, you can know them really well. And I think anybody, if they have the right ingredients of circumstances, will do anything. Like you think they wouldn't do it, but if the perfect storm happens, like, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I could say I would never cheat on my wife. Like, of course, I'm never gonna cheat on my wife. But
Right.
if I put myself in a place where it's a possibility for it to happen, I probably would do it. That's why I don't put myself in them situations. Like, I'm not gonna spend time alone with another woman for a long time talking on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't put myself in situations where that could happen because I know myself.
Right.
So if you're watching me and you say, oh, Prophet would never do that because I know who he is. Well, I probably would do it if I allowed myself to be in certain situations. So I don't put myself in them situations because I know who I am. And so it's dangerous to say, well, I know too, he would never do that. Well, he probably wouldn't, but if he got punched in the face and then something happened and then like you don't know like what would happen after that because when you get in a stressed out situation, you behave differently. You know what I'm saying? That's not your norm. Like you're in a I don't know what the word is. I guess like a weird circumstance. It might cause you to behave differently.
So yeah, I mean, I would just say that it is dangerous. It can be dangerous to, put all your trust in somebody, not thinking that they're capable of doing something that you wouldn't think that they would do.
For
But
sure.
also, I feel like if you're a friend, then there has to be a level of trust that I have in you. I mean, it may be in the back of
Absolutely.
my mind. It may be in the back of my mind, like, yeah, I really do trust this person. And they could get in a circumstance where, something could happen that would be out of their character. But overall,
That's good.
I trust them as a person. That's why I call you a friend and not an associate. There's a difference between a friend and an associate, in my opinion. And I'm sure we'll get into that, in
For
the
sure.
rest of the
I mean,
episode, but
that's
there's
not
a
even an opinion.
difference.
That's a fact. I mean, just based on dictionary definition, a friend and associate
Right,
is different.
right. Absolutely. But that leads me to say this, which is while we're talking about how well do you know someone else, how well do you really know yourself?
It's good. I know myself really well. So I've learned, you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds funny, but it's like if you pay attention to yourself, you will see things about yourself that you might not have thought was there. Like you might think,
Mm,
I'm the type of person, I'm wise, I do this, I do that. But when you get in I'm saying when you get into certain circumstances, how do you behave? Do you get angry
right.
quickly? Are you slow to anger? Do you fly off the handle? You know what I'm saying? When you're in the car by yourself and somebody cuts you off, without thinking, what do you do? Is your first response, yo, what the flip? Like, that's how you know who you are. Like, whatever came out of your
That's true.
mouth, that's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you don't know that about yourself, you could, you could be in a bad situation. I remember this was like really like early on in our marriage. Me and my wife got into an argument and we were talking about money and we were going back and forth. I forgot what the exact conversation was about, but I remember something about us not having enough money, or I think she was saying something that we needed money for something. I just was like, well, look, we
Mm,
got the money, we got the money. And I got so frustrated at the conversation and I said something that I didn't think about. I just said it because it wasn't like I was thinking like, okay, let me think of what to say. I just got so mad. I just blurted out something. And what I blurted out was, this is gonna sound funny. What I'm saying, what I blurted out was, I've never seen a righteous forsaken nor his seed breaking bread. And my wife was like, what? And I just was like,
oh man.
okay, that was really inside of me. Like, that's what I really think. That's who I
Right.
am. Like, that's what I feel. And then on the same token, you fast forward 20 years later, I'm in a car, somebody cuts me off, and I go, what the beep? And I'm like, oh, that's in there. So
That's
I
in
can't
there.
pretend like it's not in there because it just
That's
came
in
out of
there.
my mouth. As the scripture said, I'm saying out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So
Mhm.
whatever is in there is gonna come out. And if
It's
you
gonna come
don't,
out.
if you don't know that about yourself, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? You should know what makes you tick. So, like, for instance, if you know, you say everybody has weaknesses. If you don't know what your weaknesses are, you could end up killing yourself. You know, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, if I know I don't need to be talking to women for any amount of time because I'm gonna start looking at them differently, then I'm gonna avoid situations like that. Like, I don't really need to be
Right.
talking to you because I find you attractive. I'm going to start thinking different things. And I just don't want to do that. So, but if I don't know that about myself and I'm just constantly just chatting it up with all the chicks, hey, what's up? How you doing? What's up? And then I'm like, why do I keep having sex with these women? How do
Yeah.
you, well, what are the symptoms? Like, trace it back. Like, if you find yourself falling into the same pitfalls, the same arguments, the same sins, you got to start tracing that back because it started somewhere. You just can't always end up there and then be like, I don't know how I got here. Every week I'm with another lady. Like, how did that start, bro?
Just randomly. Just
Yeah, I don't know why this is happening.
yo. I think that the reason why, one of the big reasons why the devil is able to trick people on a level that he does is because people put, and I think we all have done it to a certain degree,
Mhm.
too much confidence in their flesh, aka their self, and their beliefs of who they are. And
Yep.
you know, people get tricked all the time. Like when you single or whatever, especially when when you Christian dating, that you can go hanging out at your girlfriend's house or even your fiance's house because you're saved. And
Yeah.
y'all just keep doing that. You ain't gonna do nothing. You just, we ain't gonna do nothing. I'm saved. I got the Holy Ghost. I'm straight. And next thing you know, you slipping. You know what I mean? I think people put a lot more confidence into themselves and into their flesh than what they should. And even to the point of detriment. And
For sure.
when I say that, I mean everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody who has said, "Oh, I would never do that," but then they do it. Or, "Girl, I would never take that." You know what I mean? But then they get into a relationship. Say it's and we're not advocating domestic violence. That's not what we're saying. But say it's a domestic violence situation, or it's a situation where a man or a woman is cheating, and you're on the outside looking in, and you was like, "Oh, I'd never do that. I'd never take that." And then next thing you know, they get into a situation where they're getting cheated on and they're
Yeah.
accepting the man or the woman back, or they're getting hit and they're accepting it. They're not breaking up from the relationship. So I think a lot of times people really don't know themselves, like you were saying. But it's because we would rather go on and pretend like the things that are in there are not in there than acknowledge and look in the mirror and face those things that are in there and try to get rid of them.
That's big facts. Yeah.
It's just easier.
Yeah. And if you really know who you are and you like you can, I've tracked things back down to almost like the root. Like I know what the triggers are. I've
Right.
learned this a long time ago and I still use this to this day. Like I know, like for instance, anytime anytime I'm hungry, angry, frustrated, or I haven't like prayed today, I'm in a bad position. Those are not good states for me to be in. I
Right.
find that those root things lead me to sin. If I'm angry, hungry, haven't prayed, and they don't all have to be happening at the same time. If they all happen at
Right.
the same time, that's really, really bad. but 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 if I find myself in any one of those states, I immediately become aware. Okay, you recognize you're angry right now. You're close to sin. Now, for somebody else, that might not be the case. But for me, I know me. So when I get angry, I want to do something to calm me down.
Right.
Sin is always right there. Oh, you mad right now. This person, let's go sin. That's gonna make you feel better. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever my particular sin of choice is, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna make me feel better. Oh, you hungry and you can't get food? You know what I mean? For whatever the reason, let's go sin. That'll take your mind off of food. Oh, you haven't prayed today? So now you're a little bit irritated. You haven't talked to Jesus today. Forget praying. Keep working on your business. Keep working on your music. You don't need to pray.
Right.
I'm close to sin. And it's just like, I've learned myself to the point where like, when I see that, I recognize it immediately. Like, you know what? I need to go pray. You know what? Let me go make a sandwich. You know what? I'm not going to be angry for more than 2 minutes because I don't need to be nowhere near sin at all. Because when I jump in the sin pool, I'm going to go swimming and I don't want to be swimming. Like,
Yo,
I'm good.
hold on. The funny thing is, when you said what you said, right? Like it was serious, but I could see like a time clock of being like, yo, I can't believe this. 157, 158, 159. Yo, you know what? You probably shouldn't have did what you did. Like, but I forgive you because it's been 2 minutes. And I was like, yo, that's what's up though, man. That's what's up for sure.
Yo,
That's
I
what's
knew
up.
this. You know what I'm saying? Here's another story. I knew this young lady when I was younger. I was not married at the time. And I had just come out of a relationship. And relationship was filled with a lot of sexual sin. So I was awesome. I'm not talking to any more women right now. I need to chill, fall back, get myself together. I met this other young lady. She was like, yo, it was really good. I think we work good together. I told her, I said, I'm not talking to nobody right now. She was like, oh, you dating somebody? Not dating anybody. She was like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And I'm just like, if we're going to be honest, like, I'm just not in the right place to be in a relationship with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And she kind of kept pressing me about it. And I just was like, well, look, I mean, we adults. I could tell you, you know what I'm saying? We're both Christian. Like, look, I was involved in a lot of sexual sin before. I don't want no parts of that. And she just was like, so you trying to say this, and that? Like, I'm not trying to say anything. What I'm saying is I know me. And she was like, so then she went into this like, well, hypothetically, if you was with somebody that was a real Christian person, they wouldn't let you do nothing anyway. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But you know what? Hypothetically, that person is not going to always be strong. And I will find a way to make something happen. And
Literally.
I can't put all my trust in somebody else to stop me from doing something that I know I'm going to do. That doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not ready to be in a close proximity with another woman right now. I need to fall back and just be me and Jesus for a minute.
Word.
So I could get back to normal, reset my spiritual clock, so to speak. And then when I'm ready, I will come back out and start talking to people. But I just thought it was funny because she was like, well, hypothetically, this woman wouldn't let you touch her or she wouldn't let you do this, do that. Obviously, she's talking about herself, right? And it was just like, and so what happens the one day you get weak? I'm already weak. I know I'm weak right now. I'm telling you I'm weak. You should be like, oh, you're right. I don't want to talk to you. You shouldn't be like, you weak? Well, I'm strong. Let's get it popping. Like, no. You should be running from me. You shouldn't be like trying to make it happen, especially if I'm telling you I have an issue. I'm working on it. You should be like, you work on it. I'm going to pray for you. But that wasn't her response. Her response was like, well, I don't really care what your issue is. Like, I feel like we I'm strong, but I'm like, you ain't gonna always be strong. Like, yo, relationships work when both people are strong, not just one of them.
Right. So to your point, man, like how big a deal is acceptance then? Because, and this
Acceptance
goes,
of what?
that's what I was saying. This goes to how well do you know someone or how well do you know yourself? The
Mhm.
acceptance of the things in you that you know about yourself that aren't great or about somebody else. Because a lot of people stay in relationships with people because they haven't accepted the fact that the person is doing what they're doing. We
Yeah.
stay in a lot of times relationship with sin because we haven't accepted the fact that it's sinning and that it's hurting God or that it could even be hurting someone else. And
Right.
so because we haven't accepted it, like that's why we continue on in it. And even though again, it could be a detriment or it could be something that is unhealthy, but we stay in it because we haven't accepted that this is the case or this is us. So how big of a deal is acceptance? You know, at AA, they say they tell me, I ain't never been, but they tell me that they
Yeah.
say at Alcoholics Anonymous class at the first, they tell them the first step before you can get help is accepting the fact that you need it.
Yeah, I think it's acceptance, and then it's also what do you really desire? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna just accept the fact that I'm gonna just always run into sin. You know what I'm saying? I think people I guess it depends on how you look at it. Like some people could be like, yo, I like having sex with women. I just accept that. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm married or not, whether I'm with my wife or not, it's just who I am. I accept me. I just like women. So you have to accept me the way I am. And it's like, is that what you want though? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in sin. I don't want to live a certain, you know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? I want to live a godly life. I want to do the things that God wants me to do. So I accept my initial flaws, obviously, but at the same time, I refuse to accept that. Like this is not who I am, and I'm gonna prevent myself from doing anything outside of what God wants me to do. Obviously, by the power of the Holy Spirit, I can't do everything, you know what I'm saying, on my own. But like I think you have to be accepting, obviously, to recognize the fact, yo, there's an issue here. Let's not
Right.
pretend that there's not no issue.
Right.
But let's not accept it so much that we just like, that's just the way it is. So, yo, I don't know about you. I'm just finna get these buns. Like, wait a second.
Fucking
That's
get
not
these.
that's not what God said. That's
I'm
not what
about to
God
get these
said.
butts.
That's not what God said. And so, you know, you can accept it all you
Oh
want,
gosh.
but because I don't want to be in sin, I study myself. I learn my
Right.
triggers and I stay away from those things. And so it's all about, I think it's all about what is your actual desire? Do you want to be where God wants you to be or no? And if you do, what are you doing to stay where he wants you to be? I remember, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, I was talking to another Christian person about this, and they were just like, yo, what you saying don't make no sense. It was like women are everywhere. I think at that time I was talking about like, I don't really talk to women like that because I know me and there's a certain path I don't want to go down. So I'm
Right.
just at this moment in my life, I'm just ignoring all of them. And they were just like, so you just gonna ignore women? Like that don't make sense. Like it's women everywhere, just this and that. And I'm like, look, if you don't have that issue, cool. But like this is this is a real issue for me. And I'm just not willing to risk it. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was driving in my car, these two girls pulled up next to me. They was super fly, man. These chicks was so beautiful. And they were looking at me. I had a brand new car at the time. They was looking at me. Well, first of all, let me describe the situation. I had a brand new car. I just got my hair cut.
Okay.
I'm having like the greatest day ever. And I'm really like on fire for the Lord at the same time. These two chicks roll up in the car next to me. Beautiful. They look at me, they give me the look like, yo, look, he's a handsome guy, got a new haircut, got a brand new car. Like, what's really good with you? Like, they ain't say nothing, but that's what they looked at.
Right.
I was looking at them, and I just drove off. And that took everything in me to like not say, yo, let's pull over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's up? But I just was like, I'm not doing it. I don't know anything about them. They might have been Christian people or whatever. I don't know nothing about them. I just know where I would have went with that wouldn't have been godly. Because I wasn't ready to do that. And I knew that about myself. So I just was like, I'm out. And I told my friend the story, and he just was like, I mean, they probably was sweating you because you had the new car or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, maybe. Or maybe they just was attracted to me because I'm an attractive dude, like whatever. But the point is, I decided not to talk to him. And he couldn't figure, he was just like, well, why? Like, you can't talk to women? I'm not saying I can't talk to women. I'm saying I choose not to. Because that's where I'm at right now. And he just was like, whatever. And then it's just funny, this same person, like later on, they got kids and they did all that type of wild stuff. I was like, oh, you clowning me for not talking, and look where you at. Like, obviously you don't know yourself as well as you think you do. Like, I'm avoiding stuff, you run into it.
Man, listen, you better than me because I didn't heard you say that like multiple times on this episode, and I ain't had that. Like, I literally, I didn't have the acceptance to know that I needed to just chill and spend some more time with Jesus. Like me, like I feel, a bunch of other, and I would just say this from an overall and generalized standpoint.
Yeah.
I feel like women generally take that mindset. They will get out of a relationship and then they won't deal with nobody for the longest time. They won't deal with nobody. They'll just, you know what? I'm working on me. I'm trying to get better. I need to heal from that situation before I move into a next one.
Right.
But the dudes I know and this guy, hey, we would always have somebody that we didn't really, really want to talk to, like in terms of a relationship like that. Like, we would keep them close enough that if the relationship didn't work out, then we would have them to fall back on, and then they would just boost us back up. And then when we got back up on our feet, like, boom, okay, word. Now I'm back out there again. So I didn't have that to be like, yo, you know what? I need to take some time. I need to really get closer to the Lord. Like, I was on the hunt. So it wasn't.
I mean, that was part of the problem though. It's like once you, what made me like that was how bad it was previously. And I couldn't allow myself to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you go super far the wrong way and you recognize I could keep doing this, and then you're like, that's what you want, you just gonna really, like, it's like either you're gonna be a Christian or you ain't. Like,
right.
If you're gonna do all of that stuff you was doing, if that's where you at, then you're not really a Christian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we in a society where it's like, oh, you can't judge me. Everybody makes mistakes and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. But like, if your mindset is, I just want buns all day, but I'm still a Christian though. I'm sorry, you're not. Because a Christian has the mind of Christ. And so I get it. Everybody's not perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, all that kind of stuff. And that's true. But at some point, there's a line where you have to make a decision and you have to say, today is the day. Like, I choose to do what God said. And I just got tired of being on the wrong side of the line. Like, You're always over here. You're always waking up next to this chick. How long are you going to say you're a Christian and you're still doing ungodly things every day, every week? But you're a Christian though.
That's a whole nother episode. But
and so I just was like, you know what?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not doing that no more. And so I'm a firm believer that if you have an issue like that, with any kind of sin, whatever your particular sin of choice is, at some point you have to get fed up. You just got to be like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to be nowhere near what that sin is like. And so that's basically what happened. I was right there with you. But then at some point I just said, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm done. And the temptations was just right there. Like, yo, are you really done? Because we right here. And it was so funny. I looked over at them. I kind of grinned a little bit. And like the light just turned green. I looked up at the light and I never looked back. I just hit the gas and just rolled out. And I'm sure they was looking like, oh, he probably think he's somebody or whatever. But really it just was like, let me get away from them. I don't need to look at them any more times. Like, I already know they're beautiful. Let me just roll out. And,
Absolutely.
So it says all that to say, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know yourself, you can end up in some pretty bad situations. And I think that that's super duper important. And even if you think you know somebody, you might not really know them. Like, somebody could have had an issue with being drunk all the time, smoking crack, you know what I'm saying? Anything that they used to do. And obviously that's not something they're going to be telling you about. So like, you could be friends with somebody and they will probably never tell you, when I was 15 years old, I used to smoke crack for 7 years. I went to, you know what I'm saying, wherever I went to, I got fixed up. And every once in a while, I still want crack. Like, that's not something people tell you.
Right.
Because it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? It's not something you want to say. So all you know of them is that they're really careful about how they live. They really seem to be in their Bible. And that's because they know the minute they get out of it, what's going to happen. And so you could be thinking you know somebody, like, oh, this person is really godly. They're really this. They're always in the word. They're this, and that. They would never smoke crack. But the reality is they used to be a crackhead. you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to be careful with saying, they would never do this. Like, they might.
That's absolute facts, man. And I guess then it leads me to my next question of, should trust be earned or given?
I think there's a certain level of trust that is given. Like, I expect you to, I trust you to respect me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I trust that we can have a good conversation. So there's always like a teensy bit of trust that's given. There you go. Let me see what you do with that. And then as time goes on, maybe you give them some more, and then you give them some more. You just kind of see what they do with the trust that you give them. And if they continue to, be a trustworthy and I forgot what the word was that you used before. Integrity. That was the word that you
Integrity,
used.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You was like...
Integral, yep.
Yeah. I only like to deal with people that can show me that they have good integrity. And
Absolutely.
It's like a deeper level of trust. Like, integrity is when like nobody's looking, you still do the thing you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, nobody's there to watch you or see you. You still like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that's really what it's about. I mean, you give somebody a little bit of trust, but like, are they somebody that has great integrity,
That's a huge thing for me. Integrity is huge. I look at that in any situation, because obviously when you first meet somebody, I mean, you shouldn't call anybody a friend that you first meet. I think that's just, jumping the gun. You have to, let people prove that that's the case. But integrity is always something that I look for. If you say you're gonna call at a certain time, like I remember when we first met or whatever, like one of the first things you said was like, yo, I was looking to see if you were gonna call when you said you was gonna call. And if you didn't, I wasn't gonna talk to you again.
It wasn't that I wasn't gonna talk to you again. Like, it just... No, it was. I don't think I said I wasn't going to talk to you again. I think I said that would have. It's like an indicator of something to me. You know what I'm saying? It like it puts you in a different class of person for me, because I've met so many people I'm saying, in my life, the person that says they do something and then they do it at the time they say they're gonna do it, like
Right.
that's a different kind of person. And then you got
Absolutely.
other people where it's like, yo, I'm gonna be there at 10 o'clock. And 11 o'clock rolls around and they don't call you or nothing. And you're like, yo, we still doing the thing? Or like, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Oh yeah, I meant to call you. Like, no, you didn't, because you would have called me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's
And
absolute,
so,
man.
that's a different kind of person.
And I really don't like when people say, let me know if there's anything I can do. Because it's been proven over time that people that I've encountered don't really mean that. Like,
Yeah.
if you call them or whatever, if you call them to do something and people was like, yeah, I will. Let me see. Like, nah. So
Yeah, that's
I,
trash.
again, I'm big on integrity. Like, if I say I'm going to do something, I try my hardest to do it. And if not, then I'll let you know, like, the reason. I'll keep you updated or whatever like that.
Right,
So
right. Yeah, that makes
it's a
sense.
big deal to me. Integrity is a big deal. And I think integrity will go a long way in your friendship. If you can count on somebody to be integral in the beginning, you can count on them to be integral in the end. Now, as we talked about, at first, everybody's got situations that, whatever, or circumstances that could happen, that's whatever. But
Yeah, there's
ultimately,
always exceptions to.
yeah. But ultimately, I feel like if somebody is integral in their word and what they do and how they do in the beginning, that's generally going to be somebody that you can trust in the end.
Yeah, and I think too, what I mean, like going back to what you just said, we live in a society. I think that's like an American thing. Like, we say things that we don't actually mean.
True.
Like, instead of just saying hello to someone, we say, how are you doing?
Right.
And I'm like,
And you don't really want to know.
you don't want to know how they're doing. Like, why did you ask?
Right.
I mean, like, why did you say that? And so, like if somebody says to you, how are you doing? And you actually start telling them, like, I'm having a bad day, this and that. They're like, yo, why are you telling me all that? Well, you asked me how I was doing. But how I'm doing, like, that statement just basically means nothing. It means hi. Then just say hi. But that's a society that like we live in. So when people say things like that, there's like I don't know what the word is, but it's just like I don't really put stock in anything people say like that, because chances are they don't really mean it that way. They just mean it on the surface level. Like, yeah, if you need something, But really what they saying is, it sounds good if I say, if you need something,
That's what they're
but
saying.
please don't call me. Don't call me. I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? That's why whenever I tell people stuff like that, I usually say something like, I'm serious. I don't mean it in the American generic, hey, how you doing? Or, yo, if you need something. I usually say, yo, if you need something, let me know. I'm not playing. Like, if you really, really need something, this is my phone number. You can call me at any time. I mean, I often tell people this. I'm saying, people be like, well, I don't know if I can call you at this time or that time. Like, you can really call me at any time. If I don't want to pick it up, I just won't pick it up.
Just not gonna answer the phone.
But don't feel afraid to call me because it's a certain time if you're going through something, because I'll look at the phone. It has your name on it. I'm just going to be like, oh, this person's calling me at 1 a.m. There's probably something wrong. I'm going to get out the bed and pick it up just because that's just who I am. So I think you have to, I guess you just have to let people know I'm serious.
I guess you do. So this is what I want to get into real quick.
Mhm.
How soon is too soon to trust?
I mean, I just met you today. I don't trust you.
You,
I mean, that's too soon.
I mean, how soon? Yeah, but realistically though, you can't put a time frame. I don't think, but one day is too soon to be trusting somebody though.
I think you can't put a time frame on it. Like, if I don't know you, like, I don't trust you. Like, I'm saying, I have to I have to get to know you, and then it depends on the type of relationship it is.
Okay.
Is it like like a friendship relationship? Is it a boyfriend girlfriend relationship?
Right.
I say take as long as possible because people can pretend for a long time, and so. But the longer time it gets, the harder it is to pretend. Like the real person, they get tired of putting up the facade. So it's like they might be trying to quote unquote play the long game. Like, yo, I'm gonna pretend to be his friend for like 3 months. And then he gonna teach me or show me or give me money or like whatever it is you want to get from that relationship. Then after that, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I'm on the other end of that, how do I know that this person is really my friend because they want to be my friend or because they want to get something from me? And sometimes it's hard to figure out. You just got to take your time. Don't be giving people stuff like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like I try not to give people things like money or I'm saying things that are of like high value just because I don't want to become used. Like, yo, I
Yeah.
only call him because I need something. And he always give me money or he always give me, whatever. So how soon is too soon? Um, it's too soon if you're not comfortable. And then
Mm. Mm.
if you are comfortable, right, it still might be too soon. So you might want to fall back a little bit. I remember when I first met my wife in school, she got comfortable with me like really quick. So much so I was like a little bit like taken aback. Like, you trust me a little bit too much. Like you don't know me well enough to be trusting me like that. And so I used to tell her, like, she'd be like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? She was like, I feel like I've known you for a long time. And like we did have a really good friendship, like really early on.
Yep.
But from her side, I'm like, this is a woman. I want to make sure she's treated correctly and stuff like that. And she's putting a lot of trust in me. So like I took it as like, I don't want to like mess this up. Like, like she's like entrusting a lot to me, and she's telling me a lot of information about herself. And so I have to make sure I don't tell anybody what she told me. I have to make sure I'm not like abusing the trust that she has given me. And it's like, but imagine if you're with somebody that doesn't care and you're giving them all this information and they're just using that to their advantage. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then they take advantage of you. So you just gotta be careful with that.
I say on the flip side of what you said, I say, but you also at the same time shouldn't be super skeptical of everybody too. Like,
I
you know
definitely.
what I mean? Like, definitely don't be super skeptical of everybody. Like, everybody's not out there to hurt you. Everybody's not out there to take advantage of you. Everybody's not out there to mishandle your heart or your trust or
Yeah.
anything like your feelings, anything like that. So, and that's whatever the relationship is. Be it, man, woman, be it friends. Like, everybody's not out there, but you have some people who have been through so much that they're so skeptical about everything you do or everything you say that it's like you can't even build no friendship with them because they always like everything you do is like, yo, why you say that? Like, what you mean by that? Like, what you mean what I mean? Like, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
For instance, since we're telling stories, so I talked about on one of the episodes my wife with how she was about this whole friend thing. She like in the beginning when I met her, she was talking,
Oh
she
yeah,
kept
yeah, yeah.
mentioning, yeah,
Yeah.
she kept mentioning, like, you mean as a friend? You mean as a friend? You mean as a friend? I'm like, yo, I don't know you. That's all we can be. Like, I don't even know you. What are you talking about?
Right.
So I don't think you should be so skeptical about everybody like just trying to get you or trying to that you mess up friendships because I think that could lead to you ruining friendships or relationships.
For sure. It's tough, man. I don't think there's a easy I don't think there's a 1, 2, 3 easy way to do it. It's just like I feel for people that have been through a lot. I think the older you are, obviously the more experiences that you've had, and you might have had a lot of negative experiences, but at the same time, you got to be open enough to get some new experiences, and then you got to be
Right.
guarded enough to know I've experienced a lot and I recognize the signs. But they got to be real signs. It can't be like you open the refrigerator. That means you trying to steal my food. Like
Right, right,
that's not a sign. You know what I'm saying? Like I
right.
open the refrigerator because you said I got something to drink. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so, but you know what I'm saying? But you gotta recognize a real sign. Is this person evasive? Are they hiding their phone from you? Does their phone beep and then they cover it up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a sign that something's probably weird. Like, why are you trying to hide it?
Yeah, that's
like
definitely
yo,
a sign.
you say between me and my wife, I don't hide anything. You can look at my
Okay.
phone all day, anytime, whenever you want. Pick it up. I don't care. That's why I be, you know what I'm saying? We were saying, like joking earlier about, you know what I'm saying, something you sent me. It wasn't nothing. Just to clear this up. It wasn't really nothing, but
Nothing.
it was kind of like a joke. It was just like if my wife saw that, I wonder what she would have thought.
Right.
And I just was like, maybe add some more words when you send me an image that say, hey, what I'm saying, I saw this funny thing or whatever. Because if I was in the bathroom and she saw it, she might have thought, oh, so this what you and your friend be doing? They're just showing each other pictures of whatever. It's just like, yo, this is a topic for a show. Like, this is not what we do. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
gosh.
But then again, it goes back to how well do you know someone? My wife knows me. So if she sees anything on my phone that looks any kind of suspect, she's probably gonna blame the other person.
Oh gosh.
Like, I know that. I know he ain't on that. So why is you sending pictures to my husband?
I feel like I need to explain what's going on here. Like,
Oh no, there's nothing going on.
yeah, I just, yeah, I feel, yeah, I feel like, so, what Prophet Josiah is talking about, real brief, is
He's like,
that
wait a second, I gotta
yeah,
make
because
sure.
I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, wait, like, we ain't send no pictures, nothing like that. You gotta these days, but we, I took a screenshot of something, and it was like something else that we had previously been talking about.
Mhm.
And in the screenshot, there were like two women because it was a podcast.
Right.
And obviously we do a podcast.
Right.
So
And
it
they
was
had a
in
lot
regards,
of views.
right, right. And they had a lot of views. And the topic that they were talking about, I was like, wow, that got a lot of views. Like, this is crazy. So I sent it over to him. And then when I'm thinking, I don't think anything by it, because for me, it's like,
It's just
I know
whatever.
what I sent. It wasn't, it was related to what we were talking about. So I don't think nothing by it. And then this wording, then we're doing a prep and he hits me with everything that he just told y'all. So, so I'm like,
And you know what it is? It's like, I know you didn't mean anything by it, right? But I immediately thought if somebody else saw it, they don't know you.
right,
I know you.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Which is what we're talking about. How well do you know someone?
How
right?
well do you know someone?
So it's like,
Exactly.
I know you. I know he doesn't mean anything by this.
Mm-mm.
But there wasn't enough information for somebody that doesn't know you.
Exactly.
And so it was like, wait, all he said was, there's a podcast. Look what they talking about. They got a lot of views. Ain't that crazy? And I was just like, yeah, that is crazy. People probably like to talk about that or whatever. But then I started thinking like, but if my phone is sitting here and they don't know you, all they see is an image, I don't know what they're gonna think. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's interesting because I don't know. That's just type of stuff I'll be thinking about. Like, yo, I've chatted with women on Facebook or Instagram about their website, about business, about the Bible, anything, right? And what I used to do was I used to take a screenshot of the whole conversation, or I would just show my wife the conversation. Like, yo, read this. And she'd be like, yo, why are you showing this to me? And I'm like, I just want you to see the conversation I had with this lady. And she's like, yeah, like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you're not doing nothing. I'm like, yo, that's not the point. The point is, if this lady comes to you and says, I was talking to your man and he tried to get at me and whoop-de-wop, you could say, I saw the conversation.
Right.
That did not happen. Don't try to play me. And so it was kind of like a preemptive thing I was doing. Like, I don't want anybody to have a wedge or a hedge to take maybe they take a screenshot of only half of the conversation and you can make something look like something is not. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, right here, he said, what you think about this? And then I said that. Your man was trying to get at me. And now you coming at me like, yo, what's this screenshot? And then maybe I deleted it or something. I don't have it anymore. Now I'm looking weird. So I used to be like, yo, let me tell you, this is the conversation we had. Here's the whole conversation. And of course, my phone is disappearing now. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Here's the whole conversation. This is what was said. If anybody comes to you and says, I was talking to your husband and he told me X, Y, Z, you now know. You know what they talking about before they even say it. And but I just stopped doing it because she was kind of like, you don't have to do that. Like, I just trust whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to how well do you know somebody? You know what I'm saying?
And the thing, so I thought about it when you were just talking, right? And it's like, how well do you know somebody? I remember when I was dating, one situation in particular, it actually happened a couple times, but one situation in particular, the girl I was talking to at the time, I was friends with another girl and we were just cool. Like it wasn't nothing. Like it was just cool.
Right.
I didn't see her like that. I didn't think she saw me like that. The girl I was talking to at the time was like, yo, she likes you. I'm like, no, she doesn't, because I know her. Like, we talk all the time. Right. It's not that type of situation. I know her. No, she doesn't. And so the girl who I was talking to would be uncomfortable whenever I was around the girl who she said liked me, or whenever I talked to her or anything like that, she would be uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was kind of in my feelings like, yo, you're bugging out. Like there's nothing here. So you're absolutely tripping. Next thing I know, wind up messing with the girl. Like the girl that, said that the girl who I was dealing with said liked me and I couldn't see it. I wind up actually messing with her. Me and my girl at the time stopped talking and she slid right on in. So and I couldn't see it. She was right. She was right. Like, but the thing is, so I really said that to say, like, intuition. I wonder what part of intuition is healthy in knowing someone and what part is like could be a detriment. Because intuition is a big thing. Women use it. They say that's a real thing. Women's intuition.
It ain't just women. Like, I mean, well, really. Yeah. Everybody. Intuition is just like, I got a feeling something's not right.
Right. Should you override it though? Like, because we're talking again about how well do you really know somebody?
Stuff. I don't override that stuff because usually that's like the spirit telling you, like, you need to fall back. Like, if I feel like something's not right, it's not right. And I love to be proved wrong in those situations. Like, so and so likes you. Maybe you're right. Let me fall back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't have no trust in nothing or nobody. I know that sounds crazy. Like, I don't, man. Like, not at risk of me putting myself in a negative situation. I'll say it like that. Yep. So, like, if my wife says, like, yo, this woman likes you, I'm not going to argue with her and be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to be like, she says she liked me. She probably does. Like, I just don't see it. Like I'm just going to assume I don't see it and I'm just going to fall back rather than be like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I keep doing what I'm doing. Like, are you stupid? Like, this is your wife. Like, this is what God brought her here for. like, yo, I heard somebody talk about like your wife being like a helpmeet, and they said the word, I don't know if this is true or not, so I could be wrong, But they said the word help and help meet was the same word that was used about the Holy Spirit as being the helper. I didn't, and that was like the first time I heard that. I was just like,
Hmm.
that's really interesting
Right.
because the Holy Spirit is like wise, give you insight on all kinds of stuff. And if you see your wife like that, she's not just a helper, like to help you do stuff. You know what I'm saying? But she's a
Right.
helper like the Holy Spirit, giving you wisdom and you know what I'm saying, showing you like what's really what that you might not see. Like that changes like mad things. So when like when she says something, I'm usually like, you're probably right about that. Even if I don't see it. Sometimes, well, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I'm about to say. For
it
me, it
depends on
depends
what
on
it
what it
is.
is. Usually, yes, but it depends on what it is.
Yeah, but most of the time, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you probably right. Especially if it's about another woman. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna be like, nah, you're probably right. I'm gonna fall back.
Wise move. Wise move. I mean, definitely. I feel the same. Intuition is a big deal. Um, I feel like that is something that God gives us that almost tag teams along with your conscious
Yeah,
that will
it's like discernment.
help you out. Exactly, exactly. That will help us out in the long run, because at the end of the day, there are wolves in sheep's clothing, and I think for me, one big thing for me has been, how do you recognize a wolf in sheep's clothing? Like, how do you recognize a frenemy? How do you recognize somebody that's only trying to be your friend for a certain particular reason? Or do we really recognize it after it's too late, after they've already done it to us? Like, because I feel like most people recognize it after it's already happened, and then they get bitter with everybody else.
Yeah, I think you recognize it because at some point you have to out yourself. Like if
Yeah.
I'm if I'm only trying to be friends with you because I want your money or I want your knowledge or I want your skills, at some point I'm gonna start asking you for money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm gonna out myself. It's gonna be like, yo, why don't you let me hold a couple dollars? And
Right.
if you got a lot of money, you're like, oh yeah, here's a couple dollars. But if I'm always asking you for a couple dollars on a routine basis and it's never paid back or it's just kind of awkward, like, oh, I see this coming. Like, or like, one thing I notice is that um, I tend to think negatively about like a lot of things. So if somebody says, oh,
Yes, you do.
I need some money or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. Um, if they don't ask me for it, I'm like surprised. I'm like, yo, they just said they needed money and they never asked me for it. Like, that's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of the person that's like, I just met you yesterday and you're like, yo, I need some money.
Hmm.
I don't know you. Like, why am I giving you money? Like, what's going on? No,
Oh
sir.
man. Well, yo, I think that turned out. Hold on, did we close it out?
It's still on.
No, I'm saying the close out of the show. I think we
no,
did.
we didn't do the closeout. We need to do it right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So close it out. Instead of saying, did
Yo,
we close it out? You know we did.
I was trying to give you the green light to go, but okay.
Nah, you got it.
All right. So, yo, thank y'all once again for tuning in to the Wisdom and Opinion Show. We appreciate everybody who tuned in. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications, and also
Share.
comment on what we saying. We want to hear what y'all want to hear us talk about. Share the videos so that if it's good to you, it's good to somebody else. So again, this has been the Wisdom and Opinion Show with your boy 2B and your man
Prophet Josiah, as always. And keep tuning in. Lots more stuff coming. Peace.
Peace.